now at the point where we want to make a template out of this so that we can use it in other things. To get us ready for that, I want to group all of this together, okay? Just so that it's all one piece. So going back into Harmony, we see our lovely structure. We don't actually, honestly, let's just delete write and display because we don't really need them. Goodbye. I'm going to select all of this, right click and say group selection, group selection. Okay, now it's collapsed down into what says group. I'm just going to call it character name rig dash template, all caps. Okay, so now we have our group all by itself. Cease. I'm going to reset our workspace here by going up to Windows, Restore Default Workspace, because I want to have access to my library. All right, so you should be familiar with how this looks. Let's go to the library panel. I'm going to give it some space here. All right, so looking at our library panel, of course, you're familiar with this somewhat. Don't worry about this here. I've already made that in a different thing just so that I could practice. But we're going to make a library folder and put the rig in there. All right. So this is going to be a little confusing, but I want you to right click on the folder side and say open library. But miss, we don't have a library to open. Shh, we're making it. We're making it. Okay. So I'm going to go to the desktop and I'm going to say new folder. And it's going to be called my rig or my stuff or my Harmony stuff. Here we go. Let's just call it that. Okay. And I'm going to say open. Now you're like, oh, but there's nothing in there. Well, there isn't, but we now have this. Now Toon Boom thinks it's a library or knows it's a library. It has that lock on there. So if we see that lock, we need to right click on it and say write to modify. Okay. Now it doesn't have the lock. And the last part is we need to drop this inside of the folder. So remember, this side of library is folder. This side is what is in folder. Okay, so I want that in the folder, so I'm just going to grab it and drop it in. Okay, if you want to name it something new, you can. I'm just going to leave it as such. So now, when we make a new file, so I'm just going to say file new, test, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. Save changes. Yes. Now I can go into my Harmony stuff and boom, there's your rig. Well, boom, there's your rig. Okay. You go into node view. You should be able to see that rig that we pulled in is the same one that we just made. Well, not rig. Okay. Maybe if I could. Okay. Thank you. So see character name rig. In order to go inside of the group, I press this arrow and boom, there it is. All right. We now have our building blocks from which we can launch into rigging a character. Don't mind me. I just yawned. It's fine.